Today we have another edition of On Mission with Shawn Alain. Thank you everyone for tuning in today, and as always, all glory goes to God. Today we welcome back our guest, Pastor Faheem. Pastor Faheem is a Persian-Canadian, born and raised in Iran, and came to Canada almost 30 years ago. Is that right?
Since 97, 8 September 97.
So I have you on today to discuss the Iran-Israel conflict currently going on. So tell me, what is your gut feeling? What happens next?
Well, first of all, greeting to the people who will listen, who will view this episode. I just want to thank you, Shawn, for your interest and also inviting me to share my opinion. Obviously, so I am Iranian. I born and grew up in Iran. Actually, not just being Iranian, I'm kind of native Iranian. My hometown, I grew up like just hour and a half from the King Cyrus castles, like those, the old buildings and all museums, all the stuffs. And we have I'm from Shiraz, and Shiraz has their own special dialect. Even when we talk, we have an accent that other part of Iran they don't have it. We have a lot of different nations in Iran, like Turks, Arabs, Baluch, Kurds, Lors. So we have different. We have Armenians, are there Iranians. So I am like kind of native person, so I'm very familiar. And the situation right now we are going in, I think I have my own perspective, and I am not expecting everybody accept that, but at least it's like it's something come out of not just knowing something or hearing from media, being studying history, and also as a Christian, Old Testament, and I study my own history, and I understand right now we are in very sensitive moments, the moments that people has to understand they don't let confuse their emotion, feeling like a human right and all this stuff with something the truth, something has been prophecy about it, right? So we can have a two perspective here. You cannot have political just perspective, not not spiritual perspective or religious perspective, because it's mixed. It's what people see that, like Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, not Iranian, they see the Israel as a Jewish people. They see it as a religious perspective, and also the attack, the desires of killing and destroying Israel, it's come from their Islamic mentalities, their religions mentalities. So here we have this kind of understanding, and the opposite each other, and also political, like the economy and all these things all happen, which is a lot of people who are in Europe, especially European leaders and the stuff. We know that they more look at the business and political view, and they give their perspective. They don't even understand religious perspective, that what Israelis have, Jewish people have, the more regarding Arabs and Iranian, because here three nations are involved: Persian, Arabs, Iranian. We know Arabs and Persian, Arabs, and Jewish people, Israelis. And we know there is always, since we know the history, there is problem between Jewish and Arabs. There has always been fight over Jerusalem, Israel, over that. And this is biblical. Jesus said that very clearly. Okay, it's always Jerusalem, you will be always suffering, problems happen here. So there are also, just before Jesus is being prophecy about this situation we are going through. We know, obviously all the nations, mostly 98% of the nations in the world are unwillingly, unknowingly, they are anti-Jewish. They are, you see the history, look at that, always been, everywhere they go, these Jewish people been persecuted. One of the nation that in history shows that always been supportive with Jewish people, never persecuted, but been blessing to just like brother or sister to each other, is Persia. Even Persia has like quite the name in the Bible, like with a highlight, or kings is a highlight, that been anointed by God, by Holy Spirit, that blessing the Jewish people, blessing the nation of God. And we have this very clear, we cannot deny that. So here is Persia, Jewish and Arabs. So Iran is 44 years old. Actually, I can say since almost 1,300 years, been occupied, been influenced, been dominated by Arab culture, Arab language. the influence. You see, almost every Iranian you see, and I'm not talking about the new generation, I'm talking about my generation and before that, almost 9 out of the 10, it's been Arabic name. Ali, Hassan, Hussein, Muhammad, Reza, Ali, Muhammad, Hussein, Ali, Taghi. Like we don't have much Shahram or Arash or like kind of Persian, pure Persian name. It's because of influence, because of even Iran Shah before like he passed away, the Iran king, that I'm talking about like 46 years ago, 45 years ago when the revolution happened. He look at his son's name, like Reza, Ali Reza, like those are like Islamic name. Even he was Iranian king, right? But since 46 years, if you go to the look at the look in the past, since Islamic Republic has been ruling Iran, Iran become out of like kingdom mentalities of the and or systematic become Islamic Republic. So Islamic religious rule Iran and Iranian, everything has been changed. That's why Islamic Republic against Israel and Jewish people, but not Iranian. So here, I have one video, recorded short video, give my perspective. I want to just give you this example. I said, we see the Iran as a female, and Iran, her husband passed away 46 years ago. And then the person who become a stepdad was not Persian, not Iranian, is Arab, has been abusing Iran, abusing the country, and abusing the children of Iran, men and women, especially young generation. A lot of them been like they kill them, they sexual abuse them. There are a lot of them in prison. We have 10,000 more. Even I don't have really a statistic number. I don't know if anyone have it because there are a lot of them is even unknown. They've been in they are academic people. They've been kept. They've been put in prison. They torture them. The Jewish people. Our prisons are more than university, like having more, full as if you today go to Iranian prison, there's a lot of academic people, a lot of professors, and their problem, their fault is that's why they arrested, because they speak freely, like they are not really, they're friendly protest, not even our active violence, not a criminal, but they're just, they don't have a right to say what they want, what they believe. And a lot of young girls, because of their hijab. So this husband, this stepdad, really abusing in many different ways and destroying Iran, like Iran economy down, Iran passport down. The passport don't have a value. Iranian passport, you don't get a visa everywhere you want to go. Like it's the lowest level they have. Iranian money, just like everything is destroyed. All the land is destroyed. Things are, in many cities, like sometimes when it gets dry in the summer, the ground is foul. I don't know what you said in the science way, but the ground is go down because the water has been dry. They've been so people who run Iran in the last 46 years, 45 years, they're uneducated. They didn't know how to do it, but just they know how to rob. They just get in, and they have a lot of monies in everywhere. Canada is one of the country that have a lot of Iranian rich people come, and where those money come from? From Iran, from people like there are a lot of fraud happening. And the people who are doing the fraud, like this is very clear, very public, that this person has, like, let's say, Iranian bank for $20 billion. And they're living in Toronto, very good. They have a house, they pay their tax, and they live in Canada. So my point is that we know those people who are ruling Iran, the short things, I'm just wrapping this up. I'm sorry for why I just want to give you mentality, right? So people who run Iran, who the husband, the stepdad, he's Arab, he's Iraqis, all people he chooses, that's what it did influence, in Houthis, in Iran, in Syria, as you know. Iran is like a spider. They have all one leg in every almost places, which is all been cut, and now Iran has come limited. Now they are done. Actually, this is no turning back. I'm very clear. I'm not doing prophecy, because this is, if I want to say prophecy, I'm cheating, because obviously when the cups fall and the water's down, this cup will be empty. There's not a prophecy anymore. This is like all West. You can see that, right? So Iran is now, Islamic Republic is done now, thanks to who? Thanks to Trump. I don't know. I'm not the Trump follower. Like, I worship him, but I see that God used him. I cannot deny that. Doesn't matter what people in media said. Thanks to Netanyahu, maybe. I see him like an uncle who come and rescue Iran. Say, talk to my stepdad. They said, hey, what are you doing? You're abusing these guys. I am related to these people. Iran and Israel are always been together like brothers, sisters, like cousins. We don't have only the time that Iran and Israel has a problem just because this Islamic Republic. And they are because not Iranian, they're Arabs. So they destroy Iran and they also against Israel, Jewish people. That's always this history. You cannot, if I give you a bigger picture. So now my point is like, we are emotionally not happy because we know some innocent people die, not just in Iran, also in Israel, that people are suffering, the blood are shedding. But the good things happen. And remember, this is what I believe. When you are coming out of the storm or out of some big situation like disturbing and a hard situation, so, okay, winning doesn't come without sacrifice. Prize doesn't come without sacrifice. Iran in last 10 years, 15 years, 2 times try, Iranian, without support of anywhere outside, try to change the regime. But they get killed, they put in prisons, regime did not care about people. They come shoot people, different, and this international UNHCR, those are just a joke. I'm sorry to say that, but because where they are, when never been defending Iranian people, because European never defending Iranian people because they sucking from Iran. They get advantage. Like people, the European country, they love to see Islamic Republic survive because they can buy cheap gas. They can buy they actually all countries around Iran, they're robbing Iran because it's not because they want to rob. They're free, just like auction. Somebody say, okay, bankruptcy, you auction everything they have. So Islamic Republic for last 43 years been put Iran in auction and give things are free away because they want to have influence and they want to have a place to go. So and whatever. Just now, Uncle Israel come from outside now, try to kill, you see, the good things, the history will show this all, where, that Israel did not focus to kill Iranian. He focused those Iranian leaders who are not Iranian, but leaders of Iran, and they have power, they have influence, they one by one killing them. Imagine in the apartment, a building, there is 50 apartment in one building, he just focused 2 of them. and and remember, people who are around also die. They are not normal people. They're part of same department. Maybe they are not big deal, but they're part of same party. Because if in one building, somebody who's like chief high rank of Sepah or ranks living there, of course, that has been whole small town been surrendered and fenced and been protected by the government. So not normal people, you and I, we cannot go live in that complex. That's only people who are part of the system living. But again, that's why high-ranked people will living there. But the rest, just like, just like militaries, they have their own complex, like people living, like officers' houses or all this stuff we have in Iraq. So my point is that Israel focus only those places, and he knows where they are. So I'm sad emotionally, but I'm happy because that's it. Islamic Republic of Iran now going down, and my hope, I pray, and I think a lot of people are agree with me, although we have people also against that. But the king son, who is Wali Ahd, we call him Reza Shah Pahlavi, he's a prince. He's grown up as a prince. He's been trained as a prince. He's been he knows how to rule. He's like his father, even smarter now because of the technology and the stuff. This guy has hundreds of speech. None of them are you can find any foul or any violence in it. He's a quite educated. He's, so he's opposition. We have some other opposition too, which is there are also some educated but blind. Obviously they cannot run the country. But the good thing's not just him. He's only leader, but we have a lot of smart, genius, capable people who can run a country proper way, who are kept in prison right now. If Iran prisons get open, things will change much faster, which I pray that people do that. They go and break the prisons. Because when Shah go and Islamic Republic start, they will call it Inqilab, that revolution happened. One of the things that the prisons all get open. A lot of people get free, which wasn't good because more that time people in prison mostly they were criminals. They are not political. We didn't have a lot political. We have some, which was they were dangerous political who was trying to bomb and suicide things. That's why Shah kept them. Otherwise, if you are to in Shah time, if you are drunk or something, you say something against Shah, against kingdom, and next day maybe even arrest you for that night, but in the morning you are good. They let you go. Sign a paper. Sorry, I was drunk. I said, go. Yeah. So that's kind of, it wasn't strict like that with the fanatic. So this is my perspective. Emotionally, we are not happy, but we are okay that these things has gone through, and we know some innocent people will suffer, but that's part of package. Prefer between bad and worse. We prefer bad. Why? Because if Islamic Republic keep ruling, thousands of people are get killed every year, and in the prisons, always people are they kill people. Now, let's say even if we bloodshed for 2,000 people, 5,000 people during this war, maybe suffer 5,000. It's better than continue suffering thousands and 10,000 and 100,000 people dying and persecuted. So it's a small amount of pay if now the government change.
Now, one thing a lot of people in the West are worried about is with a new regime that comes in, would they be better or worse? Because if we look at history, places like Libya, well, a lot of Christians are persecuted. We had the 21 martyrs there who were farm workers, and they would not convert to Islam and renounce their Christianity, and they were all martyred for it. When we look at Iraq with Saddam Hussein, I mean, that led to the rise of ISIL. And, one thing about Saddam is all his closest advisors, all his servants and everyone, they're all Christians, because Christians wouldn't blow themselves up to murder him. They trusted Christians more. Now, with them gone, it hasn't turned out better. Same with Syria. With one thing about Bashir al-Assad and his dad is they actually both protected the Christians. And now we see Christians fleeing there. There's been so many Christians that it's been genocide. So will this one be different? Will this, one of these success stories was South Africa with Nelson Mandela, although South Africa isn't looking too good today, but it was considered a success story after Nelson Mandela was freed from jail. Could this be a success story like that?
Yeah, you have people obviously like Nelson Mandela, they are in prison and they're coming out. We have people who are capable, qualified, and smart, educated, politically, they have knowledge, everything. They can run the country, they can manage. But we not worry about that. We are not aroused like Neil Bees, and plus our leader who's opposition right now, the King Pahlavi, he's already clear with all people around him. Even now, he's not desperately asking any request, anything for. He said, if you do help, later on is your benefit. We will have a communicate. It depends. So he's not showing himself desperate. He's very confident because he more trusting people in Iran will do the more change. And of course, his thanks to Israel and the US and others. And he said, I mean, this is opportunity. Only words he give very clear speech, a clear announcement that which side of the history you want to stand right now, because we will pass the storm, but you will feel guilty or feel happy. So he's been very clear to everybody around politically, and of course he is smart. He already provide some communication with Israel to help for economic, like for waters, electricity things, so for repairing and doing some economic work. And also I think he's open for business investment for all people around the world, who are properly and they're honest, they can do the investment, because Iran is a land of investment with the security and stuff. So yes, we're not going to be like that. I have no doubt about that, because we have people who can run the country.
I had a conversation with a fellow named Imam Tawhidi about 7 or 8 years ago. I had lunch with him. He was an imam in Iran that he held a position that I think would be comparable in Christianity, kind of like a bishop at the Vatican. So it was a high religious position in Iran, and now he actually has his own mosque in Australia. He actually also has a fatwa on his head, so they now want to kill him. He had to flee Iran, which is why he's in Australia, but that's a whole other story. I'll get into that. But while I was having lunch, I did ask him, I said, do you think Iran should become a democracy? And he actually said no. And which kind of shocked me. I'm very pro-democracy. In hindsight, he might have been a good idea. He might have been right to have it being tribal, maybe better, because there seemed to have been more peace. You know, just like I was saying with Saddam and Bashir al-Assad, you know, they protected the Christians. And when they were gone, then there's been mass genocide against Christians.
How old is he? How old is he?
I'd say he's in his 40s, approximately.
Okay, so we did not see the kingdom, we did not see the Shah when Shah was ruling. It was democracy. Our country was more democracy than anywhere in the world, like Europe's. Everything was open. I think the person who say that probably he's not, he's from new generation after the revolution. And of course, there's after the revolution, there's no democracy. That's what the problem right now we have.
So tell me, what do you think is the best case scenario here?
Okay, best case scenario, best what I hope also for like um, or parents will be king for Iran, but as a democracy, just like European country, right? But we will have the uh, people who can vote for leadership. We have to see the team, people who are candidate. We see who is presented. We being part of the, you know, like who is candidate, so we can give a vote to them. We will see what's their education, what's their communication. Everybody has to be like open book, and Iranian choose what they want. They want, you know, like what type of the democracy or what type of the systematic they want. I'm not obviously political man. I'm not an academic political specialist, so I don't have those big words to use. But my understanding is will be like the public, more liberty and secular country, secularism, which will be freedom, just like again Europe or United States. But more pure, because in Europe and United States a lot of migrants, so they are mixed. They are obviously a lot of opposition together. But in Iran, it's going to be only Persian and Iranian. I mean, those who believe they're Iranian, even those that are Arabs or Turk or Baluch or whatever, but they think they're Iranian. So it will be much better situation. Secularism is something that Iranian want for right now for Iran. I believe all of them. So people who are Muslim, they can have their mosque and parade. People who are Christian, they can have their church, Jewish, they can have their synagogue. Everybody has respect each other. They have to know there's no attacking, ideologies of each other. Free to do the evangelist work, something like that. So we want something like that. I think all the people want like that. Even as a Christian, as a pastor, I like to have something like that.
So tell me, what was the Israel and Iran relationship before the Ayatollah came in under the Shah and even before that?
The conflict, the Shah did not have any, not very close together relationship, but they were like brotherhood relationship regarding the businesses and stuff. To be honest, I do not have so much closed caption knowledge about that, but I do know Shah, which is our king who passed away, Muhammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, who was very, you can see actually today there are a lot of clip of him that which is he speak English, and he announced, he talk about things. He was very conform, he was very established, he was very have a very good relationship with people around him, except there was some problem with Iraq and some Arabic country. That time they actually they really scared from him. Like Iraq has some issues with Iran regarding some islands and stuff, and Shah just gave him notice, like just like how Trump now gives some warning to some people. Shah gave actually very boldly give him like warning to the Saddam, say, listen, if you do this, you're done. Like you're done really. So he just stopped that. That's why after when Shah go, Saddam attacked because took advantage. That's why we have a war, because that was some spark in the past, but Saddam could not do anything because everybody around Shah was scared for him. I mean, there are videos, you see, people anywhere he go, those kings or those prime ministers or those things are all been bow to him and kiss his hand and everything. I mean, look at the history, man. I'm glad there is a lot of videos about that. So Shah was And Israel, one of those countries who was around, and Shah liked them, have a relationship with them, but still Shah, he was independent because Iran wasn't desperate like now. And that's why his son now, also the second Muhammad Reza Shah, which is the prince now is coming up, he's also very clear, but he has a good relationship with Israel because he visited Israel, I think, last year, and he has a good, not just visiting, but also he did go and see how can use the technology in Israel, in Iran for, like, it was always, the plan is there, right, that to taking over. And also recently I was like surprised, which is I was very happy also personally, that his daughter married the business Jewish man who was a businessman, like and now there is Jewish people in castle in royal family, which is now showing more close. And plus, as a Christian, as Jewish people we know that in Bible, like it was, like kind of Netanyahu, the Bibi, he thinks because they owe Persia people, Iranian, because of King Cyrus. And that is, that when they bless Jewish people and say you go and give them also a lot of money, a lot of, economically support Jewish people to rebuild their temple and bless them and ask all people around them to bless them, let's say the woods from Lebanese, tree, it was very famous that time. Lebanese war, like trees and woods are like forces was very famous. So these trees from there, this from there, like they give them something that they can get everything back. And so now, as Iranian king in history, help and support and the Jewish people in the time when they weren't kept as a slave in Babylonian Old Babel, but in Old Testament you can see that. So now Bibi thinks now he's the time to pay off. That's why he's doing that. He's not against Iranian people. He's every day he send a message. I mean, imagine Iranian prime minister like the Khamenei, the Islamic Republic head. He hide himself and he's only one time send a message, but Bibi sending everyday message to Iranian, encouraging them. You see, this is a very ugly world. Like, is it very, I mean, these guys are very insulted, very disrespected. They don't understand it. They're really desperate right now. And this is a sad thing anyway, but, probably God allowed that happen because they deserve it. This, like these people have been really doing so much. They abuse physically, sexually. They almost 2/3 of Iranian in Iran, yeah, they're very bad, very very bad. Like it's just ugly things that you don't even want to think about it because you feel sad, you feel negative. Let me just say one of because maybe your listeners want to know that. I'm sorry, but I didn't want you to feel negative, but you need to know to hear that what I'm saying ugly and bad because you see, let's say your daughter, teenager daughter, go to school. On the way back from school, little bit hair's out, and she's a teenager, she's young, so they tell her, why you do that? She start talking back, so they took her. You don't know, they don't tell you they took your daughter. You don't see, oh, my daughter is supposed to be home now because the school finished. Now it's 2 hours past. No, you cannot find your phone. Nobody answer you. Her friends in the school are coming. They say, yes, uncle, the committee, the Sepah, they go and some soldiers arrest her because her hair all was out and she talked back. Now you go and they say, no, we don't know. And then they say, yes, we find your daughter because she was doing this. They put some crime on her, which they lie. Plus, you don't see her until they tell you they will show you her grave. Said she was in prison. She was suicide. So we just try to just bury her. She's here. Now, some people just, they open the grave, they bring it out, they realize the body has been opened. All organs of the body been sold out because the body is empty. No livers, no kidney, no. You see, this is madness. This is crazy. This is not not just human right. Even animals don't do that.
This is happening in Iran today.
To the hundreds and thousands of the kids in Iran, my brother. And who do it? Islamic Republic of Iran. And this is not, I'm not saying this fake. This is a proof. There's a lot of evidence and documents there. So my point is like, Uncle Israel come, now helping. Now we need to stand up. It's sad, but it's good. Right. It's right. It's not good, but it's right. Between right and good, we want right. No one just, oh, everybody okay? No, no, don't fight, no war. I mean, come on, you have no choice.
So do you think Trump should weigh in and give Israel those big bunker buster missiles?
No, I think maybe doing that, maybe Netanyahu doing that, they are good. I don't think so. Trump even need to involve. I mean, you see, Trump shadows is enough for people. You don't need to involve everything. His name is there. And you know, I think, I believe this is my personal things. I think Trump waiting to see if Russia or China or things that try to support Iran, then Trump will step in. Because if Trump is stepping, they have a reason to step in to support Iran too. They said, "Oh, Trump support." I mean, almost everybody knows Trump supporting Israel. That is very clear. But being officially doing something bombing Iran, I think Trump is very smart than this. To just he waiting if anyone involved, and otherwise Israel can look after Iran without Trump do anything. Obviously, Trump already prepared. He takes so much of his muscles, fighting soldiers, everything. He prepared in Middle East. Recently he's been with his soldiers, yeah, but it's not for Iran. Iran cannot even deal with Israel. Come on, man. It's just
A reporter asked Trump the other day if anyone from the Iran negotiating team wanted to come back and get to the table, and he said, well, I don't know. They're all dead now.
exactly. I like this guy. He's doing really great job.
All right, well, is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Thank you very much. I bless those people. I mean, obviously, people can phone, they can call, they can leave the message. I will be happy if people have different opinion and they want to know more, or even objection. They can. I mean, I believe people, if they look at the history and the study and see the more, behind the scene, then people will agree with me. But if you're believers, Christian, please pray for Iran, please. If you are other faithed, if you are praying, we need it for safety for innocent people. Pray for as less as bloodshed is better. No matter for which side, doesn't matter, Israel and Iran, they're all human. Uh, we hope some people pray that don't fight back, but surrender. Because even if fight back, again, more bloodshed. Israel not going to give up until they get the victory. And that's something that we know that. And we are seeing this opportunity. So we will have a victory. So I hope that people who left over and did things against our anti-Jewish in Iran, they leave Iran, or if they're in Iran, they give up. They go on their knees and just, stop that. So that's the only way.
All right, well, thank you for being my guest, Pastor Faheem. Would you like to end this in a prayer?
Sure. Father, I just want to thank you for today. Thank you for this communication. Thank you for your love for all of us, Father. We know that you love everyone, every human. They create in your image. Doesn't matter Jewish, Persian, Arabs, and where they born or what color they have, Father. But you love every human. So, Father, I pray for peace, and we know that Jesus Christ, the gospel of Jesus only can bring the peace. So we pray for people, open eyes people, like even Jewish people, Muslims, wherever they are, Father, just to know Jesus and believe him and believe so the peace will be come and joy in all earth, Father, not just Iran, Israel, not just Gaza, but everywhere. We pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.